I'm going to show you 6 lower body exercises that you can do with just one dumbbell. Right off the bat, we're getting into goblet squats. You're going to start by raising the dumbbell up into your hands into the goblet position. Then you're going to sit your butt back, keeping your chest up, and squat down as low as you comfortably can. Ideally, you'll get down as low as having your elbows touching your quads. Now, this is what you don't want to see. I don't want to see you rounding your lower back or your back in general and minimizing the range of motion by either just bending the knees or just bending your hips. Next up is the Romanian deadlift, or RDL for short. And what we're going to do here is now bring the dumbbell down into a position holding both of our hands in between our legs. And we're going to sit the butt back, again keeping a relatively straight, neutral spine, bracing the abs. Sit the butt back until you feel a stretch in the hamstrings. And we don't want to bend the knees too much or else that'll turn it into a squat. Now what we don't want to see, again, is rounding the lower back too much, going too fast on the way down or the way up, or turning it into a squat like that. Now next up is goblet split squats. We're going to hold this in the goblet position once again. We're going to get our split stance, and we want to make sure that it's wide enough that you can have both knees bending down at about a 90-degree angle or so. Now this is what it looks like with the other leg. And next up, we've got unilateral loaded split squats. That just means that we're holding the weight on one side instead of in the middle, or instead of having a dumbbell in each hand. Now this makes it a little bit harder to balance, and it's a way to change up the stimulus. Instead of being so upright, you're a little bit more hinged over. Now we're getting into glute bridges. You can perform this exercise on the floor or with your back elevated onto a bench or anything that can safely prop you up. The main difference between these two positions is that the elevated position on the bench gives you a bigger range of motion. You can see here that with the bench, my range of motion isn't limited by the floor, whereas the glute bridge on the floor is a smaller range of motion, and my butt hits the floor instead of going deeper through. Now you can also do single leg glute bridges and single leg hip thrusts. Also a great way to target one leg at a time, and if you don't have a lot of weight with you, it's a great alternative to load a little bit heavier on one side. And last but not least, we have calf raises. So we're going to do this example here just on the floor with a smaller range of motion and holding the dumbbell in the goblet position. But now we're going to increase the range of motion by just elevating our feet, our toes, onto about a 2-inch or so plate. That's going to give us a bigger range of motion and increase the difficulty and the effectiveness of the exercise. Now here, we don't want to be wobbling around like I'm just showing you here. We want to really control the range of motion. Here, I'm doing a different variation where it's offset, where we actually have the dumbbell in one side, which makes the balance a little bit harder. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more exercise videos.